I want to focus on a couple stories about Syria real quick. The U.S. says it won't normalize or upgrade diplomatic relations with Assad. This at Reuters, and I believe it was our State Department spokesperson was asked about the U.S. normalizing or upgrading diplomatic relations with Syria, and the U.S. clarified to say that it doesn't want any of its allied countries to. And this comes after representatives from Jordan and Lebanon both asked the U.S. to ease sanctions on Syria to help the economy, not in Syria, but in Jordan and Lebanon, because the location of Syria between Jordan and Lebanon makes it so that it's harder to trade between those two countries with the U.S. sanctions. And so we see time and time again the U.S. doesn't care how many people it hurts with this economic warfare in the Middle East, and it's always, oh, we have targeted sanctions on Iran, and yet it really means that some citizen in Jordan is sitting in cold without any power at their house, and somebody is unable to eat a couple meals a week because they're lacking money in Jordan or something like that. Real kind of economic pain that we're putting on people, hunger, cold, maybe even if people aren't quite yet like starving to death in Jordan or anything like that, it is serious economic hardship that they're facing, and sanctioning Assad isn't worth it. This war is over. The U.S. needs to normalize relations. We need to end our occupation of Syria, and rather the Biden administration is continuing to move forward with the same Trump policy that at this point is only making Syrians, Lebanese, and Jordanians suffer unnecessarily. Also in Syria, we had someone unknown at this point, I guess this was on September 26th, carry out an airstrike against, what Reuters, of course, describes as Iranian backed, but what it means is a Shia militia loyal to the Syrian government that was based in eastern Syria. This was in the town of Mayadeen, which is near Ahmad Kabul, where it is a town that has been bombed several times. And in the past, bombing in this region has sparked retaliatory attacks against either the U.S. or the Iraqi government forces in Iraq. A lot of times, they'll hit a Iraqi government base. A lot of these bases house Americans or American contractors, and so this puts the U.S. in an escalation cycle with these Shia militias. It's unknown who carried out this strike, but I highly suspect Israel, and if not, the U.S. All right, and then the U.S. has also carried out some raids in Syria in the past week. In two separate raids, they claim to have killed 3 and captured 5 members of the Islamic State. Who knows who they actually took out, but I'm sure, they kicked in the door of a bunch of Syrian homes, and their claims are that they got ISIS guys. Of course, what are they going to do with them other than throw them in these other overcrowded prison camps where they have no means to prosecute or do anything? The U.S. occupation of Syria is an absolute calamity. It's time to just move out. These people the ISIS fighters are still carrying out strikes against the Assad forces, and so if the U.S. left, Assad would certainly clean them up and kind of take care of this, and the U.S. doesn't have to continue to carry out these raids in Syria.